Hey there, folks. In the days since the Staccato XC review, there have been a lot of comments. A lot of comments on that video. A lot of comments on the duty ammo challenge with the gun. I'm going to go through the comments. You guys love it when I read through your comments and react to them. So let's get into it. These are the comments on the XC review video. Ben, do you think the XC would be reliable with a 9-pound recoil spring, or was the 11-pound necessary? I think it'll be reliable if it's clean and oiled, and even the 7-pound spring that it comes with is not worn out. It'll probably run. Now, if you have a heavier spring, it'll probably run better. But I think the oil is the key. Honestly, you got to keep the gun lubed. Honestly, I say this as a 1911 or / 2011 fan. The XC is stupid. It's twice the cost of the P and no better. Really, you can comp a P and save $2K. At the end of the day, the XC falls into open. Well, the comp is good. It's not an open gun with pop. It's good. The optic is still slide mounted. Before anyone can say I'm cheap, my Masterpiece Arms DS9 open gun costs the same amount. But that's a hand-built gun with a way more effective comp. Frame-mounted optics, etc. I love my two Staccatos, but seriously, they are not the greatest fit guns. Honestly, Dan Wesson 1911 have better fit and finish. The XC is a production gun drawing hand-fit semi-custom price tag. If you are competing with it, truthfully, there are guns that are purpose-built for the same cost and way better quality. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people have said this kind of thing. That's fair comments, except I wouldn't say that the XC is double the cost of a P. Like, if you spec it out on the website, the XC that I have is like about $5,000, like $5,100, with the magazines and everything, and a Staccato P would be like $3,800. It's not as huge of a difference as you think when you start considering the optic as well as the gun. I say this as somebody who cannot afford a Staccato XC. I have a Prodigy, but the main group of people who say Staccatos are stupid, they are way too overexpensive, are generally the same guys who view guns purely as defensive tools and say, the Staccato can't save my life any more than my $400 pistol can. Okay, yeah, that's fair. One guy says the P looks much better than the XC. Really? It does? Okay. No, I don't want to read that one. One guy asking what distance is 0 to the dot at. It's a 19.5 yards, precisely. A lot of comments on the rem oil. One guy says rem oil, boys assemble. One guy says rem oil, Ben uses that water. It's like, well, I have some rem oil. I thought the gun would run with rem oil, so I did it with rem oil because a lot of the lube nerds, they believe that really, really matters. And it's kind of like, from my perspective, if the lube that I'm putting on the gun really matters like that much, I should probably be using a different gun. Next comment, I don't have a dog in the fight either way. I still believe there are better duty pistols out there as far as reliability and maintenance requirements, but there's no question that it's a gun the average trainee can learn to shoot really well due to its low recoil and accuracy. Shootability matters too, and reliability is probably acceptable even if it's not the absolute best. Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, the gun runs now, I think. I think it runs. But would it be as good if I threw it in the sand and then pulled it out and tried to shoot it? Would it be as good of a Glock then? As good as a Glock then? Probably not. I would be surprised if it was. Well, a lot of people like the review. They say great review with objective reason and logic as a basis. Thank you. Objective review for both sides of the conversation was nicely done. Thanks. Now, when I bought the Staccato, this might sound like a weird perspective, but I don't really care what happens. So, I'm comfortable with buying the gun, and if the optic flies off and hits me in the face, I mean, that would be fine in the end. It would be entertaining anyway. If the gun doesn't run that well, that's fine. That'll be entertaining. If the gun runs like a top, that's fine too. I really don't care what happened with the gun. It was just kind of just try it and see. And I think that was a good attitude to approach it from because people enjoyed the review. Word of the day, ostentatious. Yes, people like when I use those words. One guy says, so when are you going to grab an Erebus for comparison? I'm not. I've never heard of that shit. And that's what's really funny when you start talking about 2011s. You're like, oh, what about this or that 2011? people have got a zillion different builders or brands that they want you to look at, and it's like, I don't care that much about 2011s. Okay, let's keep going. One guy says, I'm probably going to sell my P and get an XC. People who can't shoot well won't benefit much from a Staccato. If you can tell the performance difference between a 2011 and a Glock, the money makes sense. The XC is a bit overpriced in my opinion compared to the P, but nice things cost money. Luxury items are just nice to own. A Rolex, a fancy sports car, a Staccato, etc. If you can afford it, enjoy your nice things. Well, I don't know if I'd put a Staccato on sports car level. They're cool, I guess. They're cool. Glocks are cool too, though. One guy says, I've shot comp guns from retention, not a problem. People complain about it or nitpicking or deliberately creating a situation where it becomes a problem. Well, that's the way it is, right? If you have a gun like this and you say, hey, I think this should be a good duty gun, people are going to look for ways to disqualify it. Absolutely. Next guy says, these are a lot of Staccato videos. Yes, the audience likes the Staccato videos, believe it or not. Mossad might have an aneurysm watching that slide drop on an empty chamber. Yes. Yeah, he might. He might not like that. I don't care, though. Solid review for 99% of the people. The gun doesn't really matter. The same 9mm round in every single gun anyway. Sure. You could be a great shooter with a stock Glock and shoot way better than someone who has the latest and greatest, most tricked out 2011 in the world, but only shoots a box of ammo once or twice a year. I'd say any Staccato is good, albeit expensive option for someone who's looking to begin their little journey outward from more ubiquitous starter pack striker fired polymer guns, but doesn't want to drop 4K plus for something truly niche and custom. Basically a hobbyist / enthusiast purchase to have fun with every once in a while and nothing else. If it's for duty use, it's a fine option, but more so a flex status thing. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. A lot of fair comments from the audience. One guy says, bro, I seen you doing drills with it earlier. You should have been hired by them to do commercials for it. LOL. Yes, I did put out the drill supercut, which a lot of people enjoyed. Yes. One guy says, I look forward to the little Stags review when the P comes in. Yeah, I haven't ordered a Staccato P yet. I probably will. Ooh, and let's see if there's anything else really interesting. One guy wants to talk about the Wilson Combat, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't care about that. Okay. Every 5-inch 9mm 2011 I've handled has been undersprung. The manufacturers do this to enhance the soft shooting experience everyone wants, but it doesn't aid reliability. I've installed at least an 11-pound spring in every one. One thing that seems to have dropped from common knowledge is that all metal guns with long-bearing surfaces need lubrication, quite unlike a plastic Fantastic. Being an old geezer, this is known to me. As a retired cop with 40-plus years behind the 1911, I'd never consider that expensive chunk for a duty weapon. Okay, one guy says, I don't really understand the Holosun, though. You balled out for a top-tier firearm and put a Chinese optic on there. Join the Acro P2 gang. That's interesting. Like I consider the 507 comp to be basically as good as anything else. Like price and country of origin aside, the quality of the optic is there, in my opinion. I don't consider it a cheap out type of option. Next comment, I have a Staccato P and I like it, but I had to put more money into it to make it shootable for my small hands. New short trigger, grip reduction, Atlas high ride safeties. I bought an Atlas Athena and fit my hand better out of the box than a Staccato. Both shoot well. Atlas slides so much smoother though. This is what I'm talking about. So the Staccatos make more sense if you haven't developed these type of preferences. If you shoot enough that you're like, ooh, okay, like I have my Staccato, it's okay. Like I'm going to modify your grip reduction, shorter trigger, different safety. Then it's, by the time you get to that point, you're not buying another one. You're not going to buy another Staccato. It wouldn't make sense. One guy says, hi, Ben, I'm looking to get an XC, and if you want to sell yours, I would be interested. You want one that says the Stegler on it? I bet you do. Last comment I'll take here. The haters, a.k.a. the pores, are on collective suicide watch, wiping their tears with T-Rex arms tissues, hugging their Gen 3 Glocks. Yeah, it's been interesting to get the reaction from those type of people. There's a lot of people that want, like, they're emotionally involved with this, and they want the Staccato to perform poorly. They want for me to say that it's really bad. That's what they want, and I don't get that. Like, maybe they don't know that they want that. I'm not sure. But for as many people that are the fanboys that, like, want me to say how good the gun is, there's a lot of people that just hate it, and it's almost like, why are you so emotional about this? Anyway, I appreciate all the comments on the Staccato XC review. I think I'm going to order a Staccato P. I think there'll be more content in the future along these lines, but for now I'm going to have to put the Staccato away because the next trip I'm doing is a CZ trip, so I'll be shooting a CZ in a couple places. Then after that, it's a Glock rifle for a few weeks. So I won't be back on the Staccato for a while, but I certainly enjoyed it.